remember our needs of the community. One I want to bring up, we had one of our employees, Jeff Wilson, had a little incident, an issue with his health a week ago or 10 days ago. Doing well right now, just very thankful for that. But he had a close scare and went to Lexington Hospital for 3 or 4 days. Came back home, doing well now, but he's still off work for a while. So just remember him in your prayers and thoughts. And then I'll ask Don Franklin to lead us in the pledge. But first of all, just have a 30-second pause. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, please stand, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business today would be to approve the minutes from the August 22nd meeting. I think you have a copy of those in front of you. Is there any additions, changes? Give you a minute to read over those.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Mr. Ranshaw makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Turpin seconds. Any discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Before we start into new business, we have a person here this morning in relationship with yesterday being 9/11, a Memorial Day to remember our country and our first responders and firefighters. I want to do a presentation this morning to Tiger. He is here. Surprise. If you'll come up, Tiger. Loretta, if you want to come. Yes. Miss Hardy, we all know that she is famous for quilts. Mm-hmm. So she's going to make a special presentation to you for your dedication to fighting for and doing FAR stuff for many, many years. And also, Tiger was a recent inductee to the Kentucky Hall of Fame Firefighters Association.
That's neat.
That is
Got
awesome.
his name on it.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Just moved, so I got some from along.
And Tiger, I want to present you with a Pulaski County Colonel.
Smile, Tiger.
And I will commission you a Pulaski County. Thank you for all your work. Thank you.
Thank you, one of you guys. I appreciate it so much. Like you've always
Thank
heard
you.
me say,
Thank you, buddy.
surround yourself with good people and good things will happen. I appreciate that. He's an old Mike.
That's right.
Well, Fiscal guys, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Even the dispatcher over there. We go back a long way.
Your new business section of the Foothills Academy contract, that's something that's been going on for 6 months, but we have got a contract with them, and I just got a notice from them that I needed to read this into the minutes of fiscal court to make it official, that a notice to proceed was issued for work at the Pulaski County Foothills Academy Living Center located 100 Wallace Avenue. That's down by the college behind the center. This notice to proceed was issued pursuant to an awarded contract for general contracting services to DWB Builders from Flatwoods, Kentucky in the amount of $2,650,000. The contract having been reviewed and approved by legal counsel for Foothills Academy. Request for payments approved by Foothills Academy, the architect and the contractor will be submitted to the county for processing CDBG draw requests monthly and pass through of those funds to Foothills for disbursement to the contractor. Funding for this project comes through the Kentucky Department of Local Government, CDBG COVID funding, Appalachian Regional Commission, power funding, and private funding through Foothills. All we have to do is just put that in the minutes, but also I need to ask for permission to sign the draws on that when they come due. They are now working on it. They've done a lot of dirt work the last couple of weeks. So they will be getting some draws through fiscal court. We're just a pass-through agency for that, and it's underway now. So I'd like to have a motion for me to go ahead and sign the draws as they come due.
Motion.
Mr. Wheeler makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Turpin seconds. Any discussion?
I do. On the draws, where we get the money from the state before, so it won't be coming out of our funds, it'll be coming, okay.
Yeah, it's funding through DLG and the state. We'll be getting that before we disperse anything.
Yeah.
Because I think they will have some disbursements before our next court meeting at the rate they're going.
I was just wondering, because I noticed we don't have hardly any money in that account right now.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks. Motion passes. Thank you. Next item is Extension Office tax rate. Mr. TJ.
Good morning. I am here on behalf of the Pulaski County Extension District Board to go ahead and let out our tax rates for the 2024 fiscal year. We did end up, the district board agreed and voted on taking the compensating rate, which is given to us by the state, which in this instance is actually a reduction in our tax. So basically our tax will be 1.6 on real estate, or on real property, tangible and personal property will be 1.89. That is a drop from 1.98 in 2023. And then on inventory and things like that, we take what is given to us by the state. So that was voted on a couple weeks ago, and that'll be the rate going forward for the 2024 tax season. Is there any questions? All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
We don't have that.
Just, yeah, the minutes just need to reflect that that was presented to fiscal court pursuant to their legal obligation to do so. You don't have to approve anything.
Next item will be the permission to bid cleaning supplies and pest control. We seem to be having a little bit of confusion in the way we're doing business. We have 2 or 3 pest control people that seem to be following each other around. One will come through the courthouse spraying for bugs, and then 2 weeks later, another company will come through. So we want to bid that out. I'll ask for permission to bid that, and also cleaning supplies is about the same way. So we'd like to have permission to bid that so we can settle on one company to do of those items.
Motion to bid.
Mr. Ranshaw makes that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is that Turpin?
Yep.
Mr. Turpin seconds. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to our department reports. Emergency Management, Mr. Don Franklin.
First order of business would be that we need a resolution to submit the Pulaski County Emergency Operation Plan for fiscal 2024. And the plan's already been submitted to Frankfurt. We just need a resolution to adopt as is for right now. And I think everybody's got that in their packet.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Strong seconds. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Yeah, that plan is updated every year, and we submit that to Frankfurt by July 15th of every year. So just kind of catch up on where we're at. The Department of Workplace Standards came in, did an audit about a month ago, I guess it was, and so we've been, our office has been working with Cloyd and some others to get the plans in some areas written and then in some areas updated. And we're right on schedule to have those done by the deadlines. On the safe rooms that have been proposed, we've got a grant request in for those. I'll be meeting with some contractors sometime next week to look at some tentative locations. We have not received the grant yet. As far as I know, it has not been reviewed, but to have the contractor call and want to come out and start viewing is a good sign. So hopefully we can get some of those things put in place and begin on construction sometime pretty quick.
Question.
I'm sorry?
Question, you said one contractor?
They're a contract company that comes out and they work for DLG. They're contracted by DLG, if I remember right. They come out and then DLG needs their information to approve all their stuff, then it will go out to bid.
Okay.
No, these are not the construction contractors. These are
Okay.
just kind of site location people and do you need a 100 person, a 200 person, that kind of thing. It's the groundwork for the spec.
And that doesn't cost the county any money at this point? Okay.
No, not a penny, not this time. Our listening tour meeting in District 5 will be this Thursday, the 14th. And that'll start at 6 o'clock, and that'll be held at the Burnside Fire Department. Then we'll have a follow-up meeting for District 2 in Science Hill on the 28th. So we encourage all that would to participate in those. We had a list of good questions that were very thorough, and I'm glad to see the interest, and I'm glad people want to be educated as to what we need to do in emergency services and preparedness in Pulaski County. We're working on the Department of Energy generator grant. Frank has been a big help on that. I know nothing about electricity. If I plug something in, it doesn't work, I call somebody, and lately it's been Frank. So we're making progress on that. Concentrating primarily here at the courthouse. We need one for fleet maintenance, and then the Office of Emergency Management, which would be the secondary or backup EOC should something happen to the primary. September 27th, and this hasn't been announced yet, so this will be the first news of this. We're planning a tabletop exercise that we're required to have every year. This one will be, we're trying to get the biggest bang for the buck, so we're going to look at a severe ice storm, which is going to test a lot of different areas in emergency services, and so there'll be more information coming out on that. We won't be running trucks or anything like that. It's just a sit down. If this happens, how do we respond? How do we determine what our capability is, and then be able to identify any gaps we may have in those response areas. We're also working on school walkthroughs with both PD and SO. That's been very productive. We've learned a lot in that, so we're continuing doing that and evaluating their plans. And then lastly, we're also working with child care centers. They're required to submit a plan, a safety plan, to my office each year. We don't necessarily approve those plans, but we do sometimes make recommendations. But they're required, my office is required to have a copy from each of those child care centers. And pending any questions, that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thanks, Don. Next up, fleet maintenance, Frank.
I need to ask permission to surplus the 4MAX that we take to auction.
Motion surplus.
Second.
Mr. Strunk makes a motion, Mr. Wilson seconds. The motion to surplus the four Mack
These
trucks.
ones we sell every year and actually make money on?
Yep.
We hope they make money on it.
We hope to, but,
According to the auction data, we should.
huh?
According to the auction data, we should.
No. Okay, just want to make sure.
And then the next thing I got is,
Let me-
Hold on.
okay,
We got a motion on the floor.
sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now proceed.
The next thing I got is to ask permission to bid the next 11 lease buyouts we got coming up.
Got 11 of them?
Got 11 of them, yep, that are due now.
No.
These are
Motion
the
to
ones
bid.
that we signed the addendum on last year.
Oh, okay. Second.
Mr. Strunk makes the motion, Mr. Wilson seconds for the lease buyout. Any discussion?
Can you give me a list of those?
Yep.
Thank
Sure
you.
can.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. We're down to the road list. We do have a road list in front of you. I think I have two speed limit posted. You have one. Piney Grove Road,
Yeah, one's Piney Grove Road, 25.
25 mile an hour.
Yep.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Turpin, second by Mr. Whildon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the second speed limit is Gastineau Road. Mr. Whildon, is that your district?
Yeah,
You know what that is? How many mile an hour?
35,
35.
yeah.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Need a motion for 3,000 ton of rock.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes that motion.
Second.
Mr. Branshaw seconds. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I need a motion for 3,000 gallon of patch oil.
Motion.
Everybody wants it. Mr. Whildon makes the motion, Mr. Wilson seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We need a motion to pass the road list. I missed over there. We went the speed limit. We didn't get the.
Motion.
Brenshaw makes the motion. Mr. Turpin seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. We have one other item. I may need Krista to present this. We need a fiscal court needs to vote on allowing the tax rates that have already been presented, along with TJ's today, library board and all the others, to appear on our county property tax bill. Is that correct?
Yeah, just to accept all of the countywide taxing district rates that we put on our property tax bills.
Well, they don't need to vote to accept their rates. That's
Just accept
To
it.
accept.
to just accept placing them on the bill itself.
Okay. Thanks, Martin.
Yeah, that's motion.
Mr. Whildon makes the motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Turpin. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Now, Kristen.
I hope y'all took notice that the bank recs look different this month. We finally have everything set up into Springbrook to where we can reconcile inside the software that we've got. So first, I'm looking for approval of the bank recs for August.
Motion.
Mr. Renshaw makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The next thing is, I would like to ask the fiscal court to allow $100 for change for the shelter for their adoptions, like for their cash drawer. Right now, they're kind of keeping money out of the deposits to be able to have change or having to take it out of their own wallets. So if you all wouldn't mind to approve for them to have $100 for a cash drawer.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Wheeler makes a motion, Mr. Turpin seconds. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And then finally, you all have got the bill list in front of you. Do you all have any questions about anything on there?
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Renshaw seconds. Any discussion on the bill list? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I think that's all our business. Does anybody have anything to bring before the court? I will entertain for citizens' comments, and then we will have to go to executive session after citizens' comments for personnel discussion. Do I have any citizens' comments? State your name and
Good morning. My name is David Sparks. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'll be respectful and I'll be brief and to the point. I'd like to address an issue that occurred during the last fiscal court meeting. There was an agenda item that was to be brought regarding health insurance bids, which basically never happened. Just to remind those that weren't here, Mr. Wilson quickly made the motion to keep the current carrier. Mr. Wilden, you seconded, and then Mr. Strunk followed suit. Mr. Turpin and Renshaw were the two that held that, and I appreciate that. Mr. Turpin, you made the comment you'd like to see pricing before seeing what the insurance quote was. That makes perfectly good sense to me. You know, especially, I just watched you vote to bid on cleaning supplies and pest control, but you refused to vote to bid on insurance, health insurance. County, for those who don't know, is currently paying $3.1 million for health insurance. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Treasurer, but Krista, but I believe it's a $500 deductible and $2,000 out of pocket. Am I correct on that? Okay. I received a quote from one of the local carriers with zero deductible for $1.6 million. And that's a difference of $1.5 million. That's a huge difference. So I don't understand why you want to bid pest control, but you don't want to bid insurance. And I see Mr. Nykirk here. It's not a condemnation against Mr. Nykirk. It's just I don't think we need to be open our checkbook to any vendor for any reason without bidding, especially something this significant. I think there's enough difference there between what you're paying now and what you could save to even offer a good family plan for the county employees. And I think that's what they deserve. So my question, I like to especially ask my question to Mr. Wilson, Mr. Wilden, and Mr. Strunk. Why would you refuse to bid that? Be glad to hear it.
I'll tell you my opinion on it. I've been a magistrate for 9 years. We've had this insurance, I understand, for about 20 years. We've always had good service. They do any paperwork that needs to be taken care of. And we know what kind of insurance we're getting when we deal with him. If you had a quote, there's no way you could quote it unless they had the county's past experiences, the best I understand. So that all has to come through some time, and I think our people do a good job bidding it out for us. They've taken the two health companies that will work in Pulaski County, and they've been competing back and forth trying to get us the cheapest plan that can be brought to us. So I think they've done a good job, and I don't see any need to change it. My personal insurance, I changed one time, and immediately when I changed, it was a lower price. The first year, or I wouldn't change. Next year, it was about 10 to 15% higher than what I was paying before. So I went back to the same insurance company that I'd had for a while and stayed with that the rest of my years of having insurance. So jumping around is not a real good deal, I don't think.
And I appreciate your answering. I appreciate that very much. But just because you've had the same carrier for 30 years, I mean, and he may still be the best product, the best pricing. I still think it's fiscally responsible of you to go out and see what else is out there. CAECO, check with CAECO, Kentucky Association of Counties, see what's out there. You don't know if you're not going to bid it. But appreciate you for answering. Mr. Wilson, can you answer me the question?
There's just two companies there to go through and,
What two companies? Just two?
yeah, there's two companies, and it boils down to, bottom line is, it boils down to service. You got a man that's took care of you there for 30 years. It's back and forth. You ain't gonna change the situation. And you got a man that, he takes care of us, and if you got any question, you go over there. I don't care if it's the county judge down to your janitor downstairs. He's got you took care of. And, I mean, that's...
And I believe there's more than two companies, but that's fine. Mr. Strunk, can you answer?
There are just two companies in our area, United Healthcare and Blue Cross and Blue Shield, the only companies you can bid insurance.
I mean, why is that? I mean, you can't...
I don't know why that is, but that's the
I
truth.
found another one, at least one, maybe two more.
There's two carriers that carry insurance for us.
Let's get bids from them.
We did.
Did we get bids? We got bids from them?
If I can say something?
Yes, sir.
You kind of made a misstatement a minute ago. Mr. Nykirk is not a carrier.
Sure.
The carrier would be Blue Cross and Blue
I'll
Shield, and
stand
you
correct,
called
sure.
him a carrier.
Sure.
It's the agent.
And you're correct. I understand, yes.
It's the agent
Yes.
that the court approved.
Sure.
They haven't approved an insurance carrier yet. They approved an agent. And I think what the magistrates are saying is, and I believe them to be correct, there are only two, Humana, which the court offers insurance through now, as I understand it, is pulling out of public entity insurance in Kentucky, so that's no longer an option. So there are only two entities, the two Mr. Strunk mentioned, that are available to insure public employees in Pulaski County, and that's the two that he mentioned. So those are carriers. And no matter who an agent is, that agent is going to have to go through those same carriers to procure insurance. So it's not my vote on who the agent is, obviously, but I think what the three magistrates are saying who voted in favor of Mr. Nykirk's agency as an agent, it's based on service and a history of good service. So you can change agents, but the pricing, I would suspect, is going to be the same, and it's going to come down to service from an agent. And I'm not saying there aren't other agents out there that could provide a good service. I'm not saying that at all, but the magistrates are correct when they say there's two companies that will provide health insurance for Pulaski County government.
Mr. Turner, Mr.
Our
Ramsey?
agent's been working with those two companies trying to get the lowest price for the same kind of insurance. We could change different kinds of insurance, and we're even looking into that a little bit to see if there's maybe a family plan that some of the employees want to pick up. And if they do, that's fine. We're still having meetings on that, but we're working through this carrier that we approved.
What it
Mr.
boils
Renshaw?
down to, the insurance is gonna be the same price regardless of who the agent is. It's gonna be the same exact price. We just got an agent that we know we can work with that takes care of our employees. We wanna keep our agent. We're not keeping the same insurance, because we can't keep the same insurance that we got now. But we are gonna keep the same agent.
I might suggest if you have information, I don't want to get in the business of fiscal court here, but I might suggest if you have information that you alluded to earlier, you might turn that over to Mr. Nykirk, and because I'm sure he'd certainly want to look at that.
I have information.
Yeah. All right.
Be glad to. Mr. Renshaw, you want to make a comment, or Mr. Turner?
Yeah, I'm still at the same stance I was, at the last meeting. I mean, why can't we take a look and see what Kentucky Association of Counties has available? Or some other, I mean, are we saying that even if Kentucky Association of Counties, they can only go with the same two health insurance companies that are out there, and then why can't we see the bids from both these companies that Mr. Nykerk is using? My whole issue here is, one, is the family plan. And I know I was told there's not a lot of discussions going on with other magistrates, and I encourage the county employees to talk to the magistrates that are looking for better family plans. For the county employees to have to pay $2,000 for a family plan, that's most of their monthly income. And we need, to me, I think, and yeah, I would ask the gentleman to reconsider having at least one other agency like Kentucky Association of Counties, which does this countywide. They have multiple counties, government agencies that fall under them for their health care and stuff. There's something there that all these other government agencies trust KCO to come up with a plan to help them save the county money. We all know what's coming down the road with the cost of retirement going up and all that. We're strapped now on our budget. Back when we were doing the budget, we had to deny people the funds for their departments because we were already strapped. It's only going to get worse. So in my opinion, as we go through the next few years and our budget gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and then we have to make harder and harder decisions as this court, that we need to do everything we can now to offset what's coming in the future. And I just think we need to look at every possible aspect. And I understand Mr. Nykerk's done this for 30 years, but I just think we need to just open our eyes a little bit more and have a couple other views. And the one thing is, I would like to see both bids from Mr. Nykerk too.
Judge Todd, I think, appointed an insurance committee rather than having to get the magistrates together in an open meeting and discuss insurance for who knows how much time it would take. So if there is insurance out there, the proper course would be to provide that through the insurance committee. If you know of something through KCO.
Everybody knows about KCO.
Well,
We
everybody
all
knows
know
about
it.
KCO.
How come
Hold
we're not
on,
pursuing
let me
it?
talk just a minute, please.
I'm just asking a question.
And I'm gonna ask you.
Why is, we all know about KCO insurance. Everyone in this room knows about KCO insurance. We have our liability through KCO insurance right now. Why can't we pursue having them take a look at our health care too? Their whole association is to help counties save money.
How many counties do you know that have health insurance through KCO?
I can find that out and have it for you the next
Oh,
meeting.
you just said everybody knows.
Everybody
You said
in this
everybody
courtroom,
knows.
everybody in this courtroom knows.
No, I just asked you.
Yes, I didn't say how many counties, I said everybody in this.
Everybody knows
everybody in
KCO
this-
has insurance for
You're
counties.
mixing my words.
Nope, I'm not.
My exact
They're your
words
words.
is, everybody in this courtroom knows that KCO has health insurance.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Do you know it?
Yeah, we've been going to all these conferences and they've been telling us about it.
Well, then why don't you bring that to I think it's Magistrate Turpin and Magistrate Wheeler on the
They know about
committee.
KCO insurance. I don't know why they're not
Why
pursuing
don't you
it.
recommend that to them?
I've done it.
Okay.
I've done it. This is what I'm saying. We need to pursue ways, the best policies possible, whether it's from Mr. Nykerk, Kentucky Association of Counties, or some other agency. We need to know as trying to do the best thing for our employees and the citizens of this community that is eventually going to have to pay more in taxes to cover all these expenses that are coming.
I don't think anybody would object to that.
Okay, then
but-
let's do
but
it.
Don't just throw out broad
I'm not
assertions
I'm not-
when you don't know, when you don't have anything to back those up, Mr. Ranshaw. You
I
have
do.
nothing to back that up.
I do, are you saying that we don't know about KCO?
I'm asking you what you know about KCO
I
and
know they
and
have,
their health
they have an
insurance.
insurance program that helps counties that we should be looking into,
Y'all
period.
are debating a subject that we've already voted on.
Yeah, I'm still,
I
I'm
think
trying to
you're-
convince you guys to
you're-
look at other things too to help save the county money. That's what I'm doing. You guys can still pursue whatever you want, but I'm sticking to what I said at
Mr.
the last
Sparks, do
meeting.
you want to provide your information to the insurance committee?
Yeah, I'd be glad to meet with them, sure. Thank you all.
Let me just speak, yeah, you can go if you
Okay,
like.
thanks, sir.
Let me speak to this issue. We have an insurance committee, which has been mentioned, a couple of magistrates are on it. We are meeting with our current agent on a regular basis, and I've asked him to get the price down as low as possible, because I have advised him I think it's too high. And if we can get it down to save the county money, because I know there's a cheaper way to go. We're looking at different options on deductibles, doing a HRA or a health savings account, either one, some other option to get the price down. And I will not be easy to deal with if we don't get the price where I think it can be, because I've looked at other agencies. Where there is cheaper prices out, but I do not want to hurt the employees. The employees of the county are my first option. We must take care of them. They've been on this for years, and we want to take care of them, and I will fight for them. But I think we can do the same policy at a cheaper rate, and I've advised Mr. Nykert of the same. So that's what we're trying to proceed with now in an insurance committee. It's not going to be an easy thing to do, to negotiate through, since I don't have a lot of leverage or a lot of options at this point. But we are working. In fact, we're meeting later today on this same subject. But we're going to try to get something ready for the next court meeting. If we don't, then we'll put it off until we get it right. So hopefully we'll get it right. But any other discussion?
Well, I think one thing that should be mentioned is, you know, insurance is a complicated issue. It's, I think somebody mentioned it's, you got to look at the past claims that have occurred over the past number of years. That can affect your, rate. I know there's been discussion about other entities, other public entities in the county having cheaper prices, but lots of times, if you go look at those, most of them, the entity itself pays for a large portion of that policy for employees. So employees may be paying a whole lot less for a family plan, but that's because their employer is paying a large portion of that policy premium. You've also got, and I'm no insurance expert, but I do know a few things about it. Pricing's based on your deductible. It can be a $2,000, a $500 deductible, $2,000, $7,500 deductible. It can be based on a copay, 80-20 copay, 60-40 copay. So there's lots of ways to get pricing up or to get pricing down, but it's based on all these little factors that go into evaluating what's best for the employees and the policy itself, and trying to find that sweet spot that the court's ultimately going to have to, the full court's going to have to ultimately approve the policy that the insurance company, the insurance committee recommends. But I think they're looking at all the options and all those things I just talked about. You know, the co-pays, the deductibles, But the bottom line, and I've heard it, people call my office about it, why has this entity got such lower family plans than we got? And when you drill down into it, the employer's paying a large portion of those insurance premiums. And that's why the employee's premium is much less.
I'm just saying that we need to have all options and look at just not one particular agent. Put it out there. Have KCO submit a plan that they think. Let's look at pricing. They may have the same plan, but for some reason, they don't have the same commissions or anything like that. They may not have as much, we have, that the plan pays the agent, but we can still save money that way. There's a lots of different ways, but we're closing it down and locking it up to just one agent, and I just don't feel that's right.
You keep using these broad terms, like there's lots of different ways, and then you talk about CAECO. Well, that's not
Well,
lots of different ways.
I'm just looking at, like CAECO, other agencies. There's other agencies in this town that would like to bid on it, that may be able to get the price down.
It's
negotiate.
two companies.
Two companies, I'm talking about
Two
companies.
carriers.
I'm talking about agencies to look at it. So, and I'm not even sure, I mean, if it'll work or not. I'm just saying, let's look at it. Let's not just close our eyes to one agency and let him decide what's best. Let's take a look at the whole situation in an umbrella.
If I can interrupt for just a second, CAECO has been approached. Mr. Nykerk was supposed to reach out to them after a meeting that me and Donita had with him last week. Don't know if he's gotten any information yet or not, but he was going to reach out because that was brought up. And CAECO can possibly offer cheaper rates. I don't know if they can or not, but they possibly can, because there's a lot of factors, like Martin said, that goes into bidding out the insurance. The area, for one, this region of Kentucky is known as a sicker region than other areas in the state. So they put the whole state together and what's the word I'm looking for? Quoted for the whole state, not just an area. Is one reason that CAECO can offer something cheaper. And the only reason I know this is because previously with Burnside, they went through KLC, and CAECO's insurance is something similar as to theirs. So that has been approached. And you could still keep the same agent. It would just be, they would be the agent of record on a CAECO policy.
So, would we say right now that I will get a copy? I know I'm not on the healthcare, but I want to see a copy of all bids before I vote on anything. Whether Nykerk or whoever the agency is, I still want to see a copy of the bid proposal from both, three or whatever, CAECO, whoever's doing all the bidding. I want to see those bids before I vote for anything. So I just don't want to say, here's the plan and this is all we got to work with. I want to review the bids before we vote on anything. So, and as a magistrate, I feel like I have the right to do that.
There will be a plan presented before we vote. We'll just have to look at that in detail and see what we got, Mark. That's what we'll see. Okay. Any other citizens' comments or master comments, discussion? I need a motion to go in executive session for personnel.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes a motion. Second.
Second.
Mr. Willard seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will be in executive session for a few minutes. You're welcome to stay, and we will be back out when we get done. All right, I need a motion to go back in regular session.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Renshaw seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are back, motion passes. We're back in regular session now of court. No action was taken in executive session, but I want to make a recommendation that we dismiss Kim Norflet from county employment for violating a county policy. And I need a motion from the floor to do that. I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Whelan makes it second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That's it. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes that motion.
Second.
Mr. Strunk seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We are now out of session.